boat back in Barcelona for one day. We had some excitement this morning that we'll probably explain later. But for now, we are at the Sagrada Familia. That's how tall it is, way up there. We're supposed to go on a guided tour here in a little bit. But I'll just walk in and show in general what it's like inside. All right, let's start the tour. This is the utility facade.
But now in construction, touching here, the chamber for the assumption color. And here we can see the main facade. The main facade. Finishes the famous Casa Mila.
Now we're at the Passion facade. And now in the shadow of the church, they found a playground they have to go play and try not to break a foot. Not starting off well. It's a lot harder than it looks.
It is. Let me go.
It is our last meal in Europe, other than breakfast at the hotel. We are at, this is the cafe in the famous Casa Mila house on the bottom floor. So it's kind of got the designs in the ceiling. We got some tapas, we got some pizza, we got a sandwich, we got a Coke, Diet Coke. Should we tell the story of the luggage? We'll tell the story of the luggage in a minute. After Olivia's cut her pizza. All right, so this morning, we're getting off the boat. We went to pick up our luggage, and one of them's missing, mine. And the air tags show it's at the airport. So I didn't really freak out, but a little bit maybe. But actually the person at the airport gave it to the Disney representative at the airport, who called us before we even left the port. And I took a taxi to go get the luggage and saved it. So by 10:30, I'd gotten it back. So that was very scary. If I hadn't gotten it right then, I don't know when I would have ever gotten it again. No telling how I would have ever crossed the Atlantic. But all saved, all relaxed now, settling in for our last night. with all our
Saved by the air tag.
saved by the air tag and by the Disney person being there and being able to call, and my phone being turned on to cellular so I could get the call. That's probably the most important thing. All right, well, that will wrap up this. I don't know. I guess there's probably nothing else to wrap up for the trip. We might do a little video summarizing it later. So we will go from there at this. And we are home. It's been a long 2 weeks. We got home. It was a 2-day process of traveling home and then had to drive home from Atlanta. Then we had to get somebody at the pet hotel. Can you wave?
Oh shoot, she's a little
stuck.
camera shy. Little Daisy.
So, what were your final thoughts on the trip? You enjoy it?
Yeah. I would much rather live in America though.
What were the things that you missed when you were there?
Air conditioning, ice, my cat,
Yeah,
and a lot of other things.
Chick-fil-A.
Yes.
But it was a great trip. The cruise was fun. The excursions were fun. We saw a lot of neat places that you'd studied in school. Bye, Daisy. So where do you want to take the next cruise to?
Alaska.
Someday. That may not be next year.
Yeah.
But
Next year we are going somewhere.
right. We had to work out the details so far. But yeah, I wholeheartedly recommend the Disney cruise to Europe. We had lots of great excursions, even if we did miss a day. Probably worked out. We probably would have been tired at the end, even more so if we'd gone that day. And it just gives us a reason to go back to want to go to Monte Carlo one day. So that is a wrap on the big summer trip, and we will see you in the future.